Hello， 大家好，歡迎翻嚟收睇我哋 channel 啦。今日咧好榮幸可以請到嚟自日本嘅 Yuichiro， 咁佢就係日本 Universal Audio 嗰邊嘅代表啦。咁嚟到同我哋分享一啲有關佢哋嘅公司嘅產品啊，同埋佢哋一啲嘅嗰啲 business model 啊之類咁樣啦。咁咧都首先想請 Yuichiro 分享一下有關佢哋嚟緊過去呢幾年啦。一啲嘅產品有啲咩特別之處先 ？So first of all, thank you for coming.
Yeah.
And I want to start by asking you a little bit about what has Universal Audio done in the past few years that really stood out from the other companies. You know, what's your plan? What's your business model? What do you hope to achieve within the community of Pro Audio, customers?
Cool. It's been a long time since I've traveled.
Yeah.
So glad to be back in Hong Kong, and we've been busy. So we've been doing a lot of stuff. UA fans probably have seen. Apart from the Pro Audio, we've really been focusing on lower end studio interfaces, microphones. We've also done native software.
Right, cool.
And I think it's not just a bunch of products. What we were trying to do was design 3 different studios for the different type of users.
Yeah.
From pro studios, where mainly you're recording other people. It's a studio where people come to record. And then you have project studios where you're doing mostly your music, but occasionally somebody else.
Right.
And then of course home studios where musicians are writing songs, and so we really focus on those 3. We call it personas.
Right.
Yeah. And so we want to make a studio perfect for each user, and we also want to make it easy if you want to climb. Because most people are on a journey.
Yes,
right?
Of course.
You start off usually playing an instrument, and then you get more and more interested in songwriting and production and stuff like that. And so I think the way we've set things up, it's really easy to start with a very basic system and then moving up. Also, we've designed the product so that even high-end users, a lot of times they might need something that's simpler, more mobile.
Right.
And so the products actually are great for pros that are on the go, doing things live, things like that.
What would be some of the examples of the, as you said, the more beginner level or the home studio level sort of products in the?
So we got a whole bunch of stuff here.
Right.
So first, let's just talk about interfaces. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
So of course we're really well known for Apollo and Apollo Twin.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so when we went down market, we really wanted to do something different from other companies, and so we wanted to allow users to shape the sound before they record, because this is one of the biggest things of a pro studio.
Yeah.
Or even with Apollo, with Unison and the plugins, where the musician would be able to choose a preamp and choose a compressor and kind of get a sound that gets you excited.
Yeah.
Then you record that sound, right?
Of course.
That's what you want, right? And so we wanted to do something like that, even on a inexpensive interface. And so we developed 2 circuits. One is called the vintage mic circuit, and the other is the 76 circuit. And this allows you to change the preamp from a very fast, modern sound to a more vintage sound, warmer sound.
Right. If I'm not mistaken, the vintage preamp comes from the 610.
Yes, our tube preamp.
Yeah, that's quite remarkable.
Yeah.
That, it's packed in this small package.
And it's just one button.
Right.
It's so simple to use. And then the 76 is based on 1176.
Cool.
Which is of course in every studio, right?
Everyone knows that.
Yeah. And that one, you have a few choices. You can go a fast mode, a guitar mode, or a vocal mode. So it's really easy. You don't have to really know what a compressor does. You just push the button. And but it'll give you some options, when recording. Because I think the best thing is to get a sound that matches the song you're working on.
Yes.
And once you get that far, that's like 80%.
Yes, of course.
So if you can capture that sound, your song is going to build and build and build really fast. So that's the Volt series of interfaces, and we have different I/O for different people. Yes. Also, what's cool about Volt is most of them are bus powered. Yeah.
Yep. So only one USB cable and you're done.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And we also support iPad or
cool.
iOS. So it enables some really cool workflows, you know, like using an iPad to compose with or use it live. We even find a lot of pros, once they've finished their tracks, they'll dump it onto an iPad app, right? And then a lot of the iPad apps now can do multi-channel, as you know.
Yeah.
So basically you can use a Volt to play back tracks. Send
cool.
your click out one output,
Cool.
you know, you can send click track, you can send front of house, and also for monitors and stuff like that. So there's a lot of cool uses for Volt. Yeah.
I think that's pretty unique to be able to use it on, you know, with an iPad and maybe even your phone. As you said.
Yeah,
that's very cool. And what about the mics, like microphones for the, you know, more beginner level?
So we have what's called the standard series.
Right.
And these are designed by UA, and we wanted to focus on, like the name says, standard, like something that you like essential, you know, like the basic tools you need to start recording. So we have currently 2 mics, the SD one, which is a dynamic mic, and so great for vocals, great for guitar amps, and we also have SP1, which is a small pencil, a set of pencil condensers. So that's great for recording guitars, you know, stereo recording, pianos, other things. So it really helps new musicians and artists get into recording instruments and voices. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And, you know, speaking of mics, I know there's been a new, well, relatively new mic called the Sphere.
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty interesting mic. Can you, you know, maybe tell us a bit more about that mic?
Sure. The Sphere is actually an acquisition. So it's from a company called Townsend Labs. And Townsend Labs were actually based in our city, in the same city in America. And so they were good friends of ours from the very beginning, even when they started their company. And we loved their technology. And we actually developed software in Apollo so that you could change the mics in real time, you know, with almost no latency at all. And that relationship turned into we bought them. So we purchased the company. And we kept that going for a little bit, and then the actual designer from Townsend Labs joined us in the acquisition. And so now he's basically the lead of our modeling mic department. And he wanted always to make one more model of the microphone, a little bit more affordable. So now we have the DLX and the LX. So the DLX is pretty much the L22. It can do all the tricks. It can model a ton of microphones. It can also operate in stereo, so you can actually tilt it and use it as 2 capture sources.
Cool. That would be great for, you know, miking up drums, for example.
Yes.
Using it as like an overhead.
Yeah, you could do that.
That's pretty cool.
There's so many applications. You know, we've seen people do choirs with it, or where you can put some singers on that side and some singers on this side. Record like this. You can do guitar tone hole and voice, so for singer-songwriter kind of recording. So it's pretty flexible. So that's the DLX. And then the LX is more for just vocal recording with the modeling. So you get also many mic choices, but it's less money and more compact. Yeah, so great for just people focused on recording vocals.
Sure thing. But so would you say the Sphere mic line sort of is like, which section is it for?
It's basically for the project studio. You know, it's for project studio and pro studios. I mean, home studio, if you really want to get into it from the very beginning, and you're very vocal focused, Sphere LX might be a really good choice. Yeah, of
course.
Because that one mic will cover a lot.
Well, you say it's one mic, but it's actually
it's like
20.
It's exactly.
Cool. Yeah, and what about, like, let's up the level even more. So when you talk about the pro,
we have it over there.
When you talk about the pro, really pro studio, the top of the top, you know, elite studios, do we have mics for that?
Like, and so this is actually another acquisition.
Cool.
So when we wanted to get into the mic business, this is a new market for us, but it's not that we don't know anything about it. I mean, we make mic preamps, and we're in the studio all these years, so we know mics very well. But we wanted to start off with things that are proven. Yeah.
Right.
And so Bach Audio has been around for a long time, and they're based in LA, and David Bach was a very famous repairman. So he repaired all the microphones for the stars in LA. Yeah.
Right.
So they would bring broken mic, and he would fix it. And they would actually ask for modifications as well. They would say, my voice sounds like this. I want it to sound a little bit different, And so he spent, years and years working on these classic microphones. So he understands them, every circuit, every part, and he also knows how to modify them.
Right.
Yeah. And eventually he started making his own, and artists love them because they're like perfect. They have the spirit of classic mics, but they have all these tweaks to them that make them more modern, and more durable and more serviceable.
So for these mics, I believe the three, the 187, 167,
Yes.
and then the 251.
Yes.
So would these be, when you guys are designing the mic, do you want them to sound as close to the original as possible, or would it be like a modified sort of flavor?
It starts with the circuits of those mics, for sure. Cool. So they're basically premium designs of those circuits. Yeah.
Sure.
So and then basically there's modifications made to them. So when you listen to them, they have the spirit of all those microphones, the things that people always loved about those microphones, but maybe with a little bit of a twist, a modern twist.
Cool.
Yeah, and more range, so you can use them in more situations. All of them have a fat circuit. So what this does is a lot of singers, they have sibilance problems.
Right.
So you don't want to get too close, right, to the mic. But people love proximity, right? People love that boom.
Yes.
And so the fat switch basically gives you proximity type of effect. At farther distances, yeah.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, so it's a lot more easy to use, basically.
Right.
Yeah. So it has the spirit of the original mic. In the number pretty much tells you what it is. Yeah.
Yes.
And then it has these new features that people I think will love. Yeah.
Of course. And because I've been a UA fan for a while now, and I've realized that not only interfaces and mics, you guys have been putting out tons of guitar pedals as well.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a bit more about the guitar pedals? Who are these guitar pedals made for?
So the guitar project originally began with aux, if you remember, which was a load box and a speaker emulator. Yep. And we worked a lot on figuring out how to do speakers without IR. So we developed an entire system called dynamic speaker modeling and dynamic room modeling, where it's like a cabinet in a room with microphones and a room mic and a channel strip, So like a studio, like the way you would actually record an amp,
the entire recording room.
Yeah, it's the whole chain, right? And that has basically revolutionized the whole direct recording workflow.
Okay, so what's the difference between that and IR? Because I'm sure many people, they're very familiar with using IR. What would be the difference?
The simplest way to put it is IR is a picture of one situation. Yeah. So it can react to different level, the transients or the speed of the speed of the signal and stuff like that. And so that's why usually it's very difficult to just have one IR and change instruments and have it always sound good.
Yeah.
So you have to keep filing all these IRs and switching between them, and you can't really customize them, right? Maybe you like kind of like it, but you can't really change anything, right? Yeah. And so and it's also not intuitive because you just get a name, so you really
you don't know what that is.
You don't know what it is. You have to actually listen to it,
Yeah.
And it's really hard for, I think guitar players are not that tweaky. They don't really want to go through the mess of you know, managing all these files and stuff like that. So I think the approach that we're taking is a lot more straightforward. Here you go. It's a 212. It's a 110. It's a 412. You know, so you know what that is, right? Yeah. It's a certain speaker type, you know, and everybody knows what those supposed to sound like. And then so you put that in a room, and then you pick a bunch of mic. This part a lot of people don't know how to do, right? A lot of people don't know how to mic, right?
Yeah, because, of course.
Yeah, and most people can't because it's too loud, right? Yeah. So what this allows you to do is actually learn the character of these mics too. So you know, a dynamic mic, a ribbon mic, a condenser mic, they're all very, very different. Right. And you can radically change the sound, character, and blend them together to get a really unique sound. And you can only do this with modeling, you know.
Of course.
And so the difference is, we model each part and you can change each part. And also the way that we modeled it is everything is perfect. Like if you were to mic something, for instance,
right,
you have to worry about phase.
Yes.
You know. But in our system, you don't have to worry about that.
Oh yeah, of course. I didn't. Yeah, actually, that's great.
You don't have to worry about it. Yeah. So we take care of all that stuff for you. So you're actually almost going through the motions of actually recording a cabinet. Yeah. But we took away all of the kind of the problems, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ah.
And so we started with that, right? We started with that, and basically once we got that far, then we started to think we have to do pedals, you know.
Right. Yeah. Because I was about to say, because the aux amp, you know, it used to be like the size of the whole amp head.
Yeah.
But now you guys have the pedal-sized aux stomp box.
Yeah. So that's our newest product, our newest UFX, and basically we took the entire digital section of aux. Because aux has two parts, right? It has that load box part and has the digital part. So we just took the entire digital part and put it into a pedal. Right. And so what that will let you do is take any preamp. You know, it could be a real amp, or it could be you know, your favorite multi-effect, or maybe an effect that you have in your closet. You know, we all have so many different pedals, right? All through our life. And the reason why most of the old ones don't sound good is because of the speaker.
Okay.
That's why it doesn't sound real, you know, because the technology has really, really, you know, advanced over the years. And so basically what aux stomp can do is it'll take anything and let you line record it or line send it to a PA, you know. So it's a super useful new tool for guitar players.
Oh, cool. So using it as like recording it line in while having the room.
Yeah, essentially. But having a real cabinet with mics, and you can move everything around, you know. And it's very intuitive, very easy. Yeah. You know, you just got to imagine you're in a studio, you know. And you know, first you pick a box, right? Yeah. And you pick some mics, move them around until it sounds good. And then because it's dynamic, what's great is you change guitars, it still sounds like you're playing through that box in that room. You know, it's very natural. You know.
Yeah, and because it's very hard to get, you know, all of that speakers, you know, and all that space. Especially in Hong Kong, for example.
I mean, everywhere. Everywhere. It's really, really hard, you know. And so, you know, whether you're practicing or songwriting or, you know, even casting, you know, like a lot of guys are doing guitar lessons and stuff like that. I mean, gigs, you know, if you want to do in-ears, you just want to go direct to the PA, you know, there's so many ways that it solves problems,
Sure. And like, what about the software side of the pedal itself? Because I know like all the newer
we have actually two lines of the pedals. Yeah, we have the regular series and we have the compact series. So all the regular series ones, the bigger ones, they have Bluetooth built in. So basically, you can just pair it with your phone, and then once you pair it, you can use apps to access application to do all kinds of stuff. You can change what the pedal switches do. You can load different presets from UA and artists. You can save your own presets. And so, and like iPhones and iPads are like normal now, right? On stage too. So basically, even though it's very analog and very hands-on, like a normal analog looking pedal, it does have some pretty cool digital features, where you could, you know, in the middle of a next song, you could just change.
Just completely, change the preset.
Just completely change everything, you know. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. And then the app, lets you control all the things I talked about. You can change the cab, you can change the mics,
Right.
you can change the room mic, you can go stereo mono.
Oh, stereo mono as well.
Yeah.
So.
And it changes the character so much.
Right.
Yeah. And then you have all these master effects. Yeah. You have a compressor, EQ, cool. Delay, reverb. So it's kind of like the Aux Stomp is amazing. It's almost like a multi-effect because not only do you get the cab, you get all these other effects as well. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And some people always ask us, can we use the pedals for audio processing during mixing, maybe during tracking vocals even? Like, is it a possible thing?
Yeah. I mean, as long as you match up whatever the signal, what your signal flow requires, and your impedances and all that stuff. But the easiest way to think about our pedals is they're like rack processors. Because they're UAD plugins. Yes. They're the plugins that people are mixing all the records on, right? So it's the sound that I think people they trust now, they use all the time for all their recording and mixing. And so all we did was we squashed it into a pedal and gave you some control. So it's actually more fun, right? You can hands-on tweak
feel
it.
The sound,
you don't have to reboot. You don't have to boot. You just plug in and you can use it. Yeah. And some of the stuff we're doing in the pedals, we're not even doing in UAD. Like the Dream and stuff like that. So we're doing some really amazing things in these pedals.
Right, cool. And then, speaking of UAD, the softwares, is there anything new?
There's so much.
Because I know you guys launched sort of a subscription plan, which is the UAD Spark.
Yes.
Right, what is that all about? Like?
So I guess the way to think about UAD now is that it's becoming a hybrid system. Yeah. So we have the original UAD. We have like 200 different processors that run on DSP, so either Apollo or a satellite DSP accelerator, and those are still the best. And if you're doing real-time workflows where you're tracking, it's the best. It takes away the latency. It takes the load off your computer. But we totally understand that computers are very, very fast right now.
Especially
getting
with
faster.
The new chips coming out.
It's incredible. Like the CPU meters don't even move, right? And so what we're doing is we're porting the UAD, those 200 plugins. We're already up to about 30, and probably by the end of the year we'll probably have about 45 or 50 ported already. And so and we offer this in several ways. So you can get the subscription. So you can get it as soon as we release it. You'll get it, for a low monthly price. You can also buy them as singles, perpetual license, and we'll also have bundles. So really good deals. If you want a good deal, the bundle is the best way to go. Yeah. And another cool thing is that if a plugin exists for both DSP and for native, then you get both.
Okay, so you don't have to pay extra to get the other version.
Yeah, so you'll get both of them. So you can, if you're a DSP guy and you already own the plugin, you're going to get the native one free. And if you're starting out on Volt, for instance, and you buy a plugin, in the future, if you want to go to Apollo, there's DSP one waiting for you. It's super cool.
Do you guys have any plans in the future where where would the plugins kind of go, and would you guys release more mics or interfaces or something like that?
Yes.
Okay. Short answer, yes.
Yeah, I guess yes. Yeah, I mean, we're working on all the time. We're working on. We're listening to customers. We're visiting customers all over the world, getting feedback, and we're just trying to make tools to help people create music. Cool. And before it was really hard to access, right? Because Apollo is not the cheapest product, right? And so I think now we can give people a really good kind of a universal audio experience, even on a beginner budget, and all of those workflows, they flow upwards very easily.
So it's easy to upgrade.
It's very easy to upgrade, and you know almost how the next stuff works because now you've kind of played with compressors, played with preamps,
And even, if people want to transition into actually
hardware.
Yeah, hardware, analog hardware.
Exactly. So many of our customers, I mean, they start off with Apollo, and then they build out a huge studio, and then they fall in love with certain pieces of equipment in the plugin world, right? That's their sound, you know. And then a lot of them end up buying a real one.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Right. That's about it.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, but thank you for the very detailed explanation of all the products, and you know, I hope to see some really cool stuff coming up.
Yeah. There'll be more.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. And this place is fantastic. If you guys have time, definitely check it out.
Yeah. Thank you for coming, and keep checking out Universal Audio as well. 好，咁多謝大家收睇今日嘅訪問啦。咁如果大家中意嘅話咧，就記得 like 同埋 share 同 subscribe 同埋 comment 啦。有啲咩想問我哋或者想問 Yuichiro 嘅，都喺下邊留言話俾我哋知。咁咧今日嘅訪問就到呢度差唔多啦。我哋下次再見，拜拜。